Happy Saturday. I know you guys are very excited to be enjoying your weekend just as much as I am. Unfortunately for me, it's going to be obviously I'm driving to work. All right, guys. Like I said, I don't have to go to work on weekends, but I choose to. And they offer me overtime, so I make more money, right, to continue to finance my farming projects in Congo. Why should I not, right? So, thank you guys so much again for always coming back to watch my live stream, to interact with me directly. Um, I really, really appreciate you guys, and that really means a lot. And the channel's growth is really, really more significant lately than it's ever been since I started on this YouTube channel. All right. So your inputs are much more appreciated every single time you tune in on this YouTube channel. All right. So your support, the super chat, yesterday live stream was so amazing. I had a lot of fun. Talking with you guys. I had a lot of fun. Interacting with you and your reactions. It really, really means a lot. And I'm going to continue to produce more alike videos so we can discuss these issues and get to the bottom of the real problems and how we can solve some of the issues that Africans or Congolese in the diaspora are having. Okay, because you guys know that I come here every single time whenever I get a chance to interact with you about investing in investing in Africa, doing business in Africa. And I also encourage you guys to get out of your comfort zone, do things that matter the most, because staying here in the West is not bad, but you'll have to answer some of the questions by yourself. Is it worth me staying here my entire life when I have a home of my ancestor where I come from, and there's so much struggles that I need to address, and my contribution for being in the diaspora can also impact the younger generation and so forth. So when you get to the bottom of those issues and get the kind of answers that you're looking for, then you get to determine where it is you're planning on, taking your adventure, financial adventure, and things of that sort. All right, guys. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Please do me a favor, drop in the comment section where you're tuning in from, and do me a favor, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It is unfortunate that I have to continue to remind people to hit the like button when it should be automatic. The moment you join the chat, you're here to listen to what I have to say and also react to the video, whether positivity or negatively. I'm more open to criticism. Like I've stated before, this channel is intended for growth. It is intended to encourage young Africans or Congolese particularly to do business back home and also inspire the next generation. And that's the purpose of this YouTube channel. So if you're more interested in the content that I've been putting out lately, so do me a favor, hit the like button and share the live stream with a friend that you think might be interested in this sort of content, because I'm putting this content out to bring awareness, okay? To encourage as many African and Congolese as possible so that we can all, get up and go out there, invest back in Africa. We all want to come out on the top. We all want to be the winner here, right? And it's not good when other people are still not aware of what is going on, okay? So do me a favor, hit the like button, and yeah, without further ado, let's go straight to today's live stream. So you probably clicked on the video because you read the title and you were curious what I'm going to talk about, right? And I'm actually happy that it triggered your curiosity, because things that I'm about to say, um, I want you to be the judge of that. I want you to judge what I'm about to say, and also give your input as to what you think is the best approach. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we, learn from one another. Don't hold your knowledge for yourself. Share with other people. Okay? Not everybody have the chance to read books. Sometimes I do the best I can reading books, learning as much as I can, but it does not happen every single time, right? So I've wasted enough of your time. So let's get straight to the day's subject, okay? So the topic speaks for itself. Advantages of investing in land in Africa. Well, let me open your mind with one statement that I'm about to make, right? This straight and pay attention to what I'm about to say. Guys, why do you think people spend cash money, right, on buying jewelries and other valuable assets? So I want somebody to let me know in the comment section as to why you think people buy jewelries and other valuable assets. Just let me know in the comment section. Then I will develop what I'm about to say from there, and how it relates to, and how is it relevant to investing in land, whether it is in Africa or anywhere in the world. But I am speaking on behalf of Africans because I'm from Africa, and I want Africans in the diaspora to go back to Africa to invest and do better, right? And that's what I want. But this topic is very important to serve that purpose. So if you guys are curious, let me know in the comment section. If you know the answer, fine. If you don't know the answer, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys. The reason people invest or buy jewelries and other valuable assets, it is to hold their money, to maintain the value of the money that they have in cash. In case of economic collapse, they have saved, right? They have saved their money. It is hidden somewhere. It could be that, or it could just be like, okay, I have all this money. I'm going to buy jewelries and other valuable assets just in the event something big happens and I don't have the money available laying around, but I can sell this jewelries and that money helps me do whatever it is that requires money, right? So it is the sort of components that holds value of whatever you have. Because keep in mind, when you keep cash laying around, chances are you're going to spend it. You're going to use it for something stupid, right? But when you purchase jewelries or other valuable assets, you actually keep that money on there. The money is sitting there, maintaining the same value. And in eventuality something happens, you can go ahead and make that withdrawal, or you can go ahead and sell that asset and pay for whatever it is that you want to pay for. It goes the same as now banking system. They take advantage of us for the most part, but sometimes we need bankings because, hey, why not? These financial institutions exist for a reason. You go make a deposit at the bank, depending how much money you have deposited into your bank account, right? Some banks, they offer other investing options where you could deposit money into the bank and the bank put interest on that money. If you don't use that money for a certain period of time, you gain interest on that, right? Or if you make a withdrawal before that time is up, you owe them 5%. So it's vice versa, right? Let's just say, because I had a CD account that I opened because I was trying to, accomplish a goal that required money, but I needed to grow interest. Basically, what I did, I went to the bank, I talked to them, and they offered me the CD account solution where it had 5% increase into the balance that I was depositing into the account. I remember back then I had deposited something like $10,000. In the span of 8 months, I had gained like $4,000. When I made a withdrawal, I had $14,000 in my hand, and I was able to do what I did with the money, right? Those things exist. But keep in mind, when you do that, guess what the bank does with the money? The bank loans the money to other people and it gains interest, right? They actually make money off of your money. And then when you go make a withdrawal, you also make money in addition to that. That's very important. So a lot of people don't know these things. When they learn about them eventually, now they're, oh my God, I wish I knew about this all along. So guys, this just means that their values, their increase in value when you have asset put away somewhere. So people buy jewelry to maintain the amount of money that they have available because they don't want to use it. They buy something that they can keep somewhere in the house. So in the event that they need money, they can just sell that asset and have their money back, right? It goes the same as buying land. When you buy a piece of land, land value increases every year. It increases in a yearly basis. So if you purchase a property in 2010 for $10,000, 2, 3, or even 5 years later, that property value will go from 10,000 up to maybe 15,000 or even 20,000 dollars, right? So why not make those sort of investments, knowing that my money, it is secure, it is guaranteed, and on the top of it, I am somehow gaining interest, because that's literally what buying a piece of land is. I have friends who have bought their houses here in the US 3, 4, 5 years ago in the amount of $250,000. Now the house is worth like $310,000. So it had increased in value. If they sell the house today, even not having completed the whole mortgage, but they have built enough equity where they can say, oh, I've made profits for just the simple fact of buying this property. That is why investing in land, it is so important and it is so crucial that Africans should consider. You guys are aware of inflation that we're going through now. You guys are aware of the economic hardship that we are all going through. Nobody is immune to that, including America, who has the most powerful currency in the world. United States dollars, US dollars being the world reserve currency, is in much trouble than he has ever been, right? But now, why do you think people are now finding other options of investing their money rather than just keeping the money in cash? I'm not big in investing in gold or jewelries or things like that. I don't know nothing about it. At one point, I started investing online, buying Doge coins and all of the other stuff. I sucked at it. I'm like, you know what? I don't have that kind of patience to do things like this. I don't want to be holding on to things that are electronic that I cannot see, but I want to be able to invest in something that is physical. I can walk in my land and see this is what I invested money in. And whenever I want my money back, or I want at least a portion of it, I can go and sell a little bit of the space and I have money right here in my hand. So because I don't have that sort of culture, not that it doesn't matter. A lot of people are great at it. I have friends who invest online. They have digital currency and things like that. They're making money, but I'm not really knowledgeable about this stuff. I'm not very, I don't know. Maybe let me just admit that I'm old school, right? That all of this online type investments, it doesn't really suit me. but I'm more, um, you know, I trust more things that I can touch. Okay, physical commodities, physical things that I walk in, I invest money, and it's right there in my hand. That's one of the advantages of owning a piece of land, especially in Africa. Guys, I cannot tell you enough how much it costs by purchasing a properties. For those of you that are watching who are from Kinshasa, who are, who know Kinshasa a little bit, you guys may have know where Kinkole is located, or even Sele, right? 10 like 10 years ago, homes or empty lot in Kinkole cost between $2,000 up to $5,000, depending on how much you were willing to spend. You know what I mean? And keep in mind, inflation back then was not what it is today, right? And people almost didn't want to own properties in those areas because they didn't think it was going to become as developed as it is today. That's why smart investors, they look at the potential that an area has in the future. They don't look at the present. That's why when you're making an investment, you should always take into account the future of it. Like 2, 3, 5 years from now, what is it going to look like? Once you have made that determination and actually learn, right? This is what I could potentially get off of this property in 5 years. Then you go ahead and make that investment. So the biggest mistake that a lot of people make in investing in land is that they wait till the area is massively populated, then they feel comfortable and secure enough to go ahead and make the investment. Now, guess what? When you are ready to go invest, people already in that area have already invested money that drove the increase of values of land in that area. By the time you go there, people already built their equity and values of properties have already increased. But when you go there, it's not going to cost the same as it would if you had, as it should have, if you had bought it like 10 or 5 years ago. That is one thing that most of us are not considering or not taking into account. Make no mistake, when you're living in America and earning in US dollar, do not compare that with the value of Congolese franc or whatever currency that you have in your country. Don't make that comparison because it's stupid. It's the stupidest thing that you can do. You just look at what it is worth and the living cost of that country. Once the investment is made, all you have to do is nothing but being patient. You can invest even more by building and starting a business or establishing something, knowing that depending on what you are planning to do with your land, it could either be building a house or building apartments, building properties, but know that the value of the empty lot alone increases yearly. It does increase, sometimes monthly, right? It just depends. Then when you build something within it, now guess what? It's worth double than what it originally cost when you purchased the land. Now you have built and you could charge based upon the materials that you use to build your property or your business or whatever the case may be. Trust me, in this world, we have to understand that the way things are conducted in today's world is that most people prefer to be run by other people. Most people don't feel comfortable being the leader, right? So when you have that kind of mindset where you said, okay, I am going to take this upon myself to help other people who feel that they're unable to do it by themselves, meaning that, let's just say, there are a lot of people who have money, they're ready to buy properties, but they don't want to go through the headache of buying an empty lot, hiring an architect, designing a project for them, and then getting Mason to do the work and having to pay them transportation and have somebody to look after everything they're doing, making sure nothing gets stolen and all of that. That could also bring stress and headaches when you're going through all of that. Those sort of stress is not made for everybody. There are people who will rather just go in there, buy a property that's already built, furnished, everything is ready to go. They just pay the money, they go in there and move in, period. So you as a developer, or whatever you identify yourself as, you can go in there, you make everything so it is acceptable and actually tempting to people who are in the market looking for a property to go in there and just, give you the money, right? That is one thing that when we're doing all of these things, investing or whatever, we're not taking into account. You're there to facilitate, to make it easier for someone to buy a property, to make it easier for someone to go through the headaches that you went through. But because you're okay going through those headaches, it actually benefits you in the long run, because you are going to charge your time, your energy, the property value in the markets or whatever the case may be. And at the end, you win. Or if you are, investing with the intent to keep it as your property and not selling it to anyone, that's fine too. But understand that the value will continue to increase. It is no different than you opening a bank account and starting investing through your bank to grow interest, right? It's basically the same thing. You buy a property, you let it sit for a while, and then the value increases. And as you work, you're making more money, you are buying multiple properties. Before you know it, you have 3, 4, 5, even 10 properties, and you look back, oh, how did I even do this? It's because you have dedicated yourself in a path of economic freedom. That is actually the true freedom. When we talk about freedom, true freedom is the economic ones. Financial freedom is the answer to everything. Imagine you waking up every morning, not having to get ready to go work for someone to get paid. You can just wake up one morning and decide whatever it is that you want to do. That's the sort of freedom that everybody is looking for. And that's why a lot of us are believed in this distortion of moving to the West for economic opportunities. And then when you come here, it is nothing but blank. And now you find yourself working 9 to 5, barely making enough money to overcome your expenses, right? To make ends meet. Then now you're like, oh snap, I'm already so deep in, and it's becoming more and more difficult for me to get out, right? People are realizing that's the case. Now you have to come up with a different plan. If you don't have a plan, forget freedom of economics. Forget that. Because you have to understand that America, the investing here is going to cost you 10 times more than investing in Africa, for instance. US dollars go far in a lot of countries. Guys, I'll tell you something. I went to Canada. I went to Toronto a couple of weeks ago. I was in Toronto for 2 days, roughly. I, drove back to Pennsylvania the third day. I was there for the weekend. I was like, all right, I got a couple of days that I could use. Why not? So I put myself in an adventure. That's why stepping out of your comfort zone is a good thing, right? So I got in the car. I put everything that I thought that I would need for the trip. I packed my stuff. I get on the road. 7 hours later, I'm in Toronto, Canada, right? So I checked into the hotel. Keep in mind, when they, it cost me like it was something like almost 500 Canadian dollars, right? But when converted to US dollar, it was like 350 US dollars. Guys, we're talking about Canada here. Canada is quote unquote a first world country, right? So their currency value is probably a lot more than a lot of countries out there, right? This is in America, in Canada. So now think about converting the US dollar in Africa, in whatever community you are willing to invest in. And guys, there are so much more advantages in investing that you have no idea. Some of us don't consider this, but it really is very important. I'll use my own personal example. I own my 15-acre farm. I recently just built a house in it. I hired 2 people from that community who are now working on the farm as we speak. They're actively working now. Within the next week or maybe 2, which I should be bringing the pigs back on the farm. And guys, stay tuned because I'm going to be sharing all of this adventure with you. Guys, not only that this makes me feel good based upon the things that I always encourage people to do and talk about, I just help provide employment to 2 young men who are, by the way, married and have kids. They live in that community. So they wake up every day living there, having something to eat, don't have to worry about nothing. They're running the farm. And I also have my guy who is going to be checking on them at least twice or 3 times a week to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, right? That's just the pig barn. Eventually, I am going to be building the chicken coop for my poultry farming project. That I'm gonna need to hire 2 more individuals to run that because I can't have them to run everything. No, when I start my poultry farming project, it's going to be another crew who are more specialized in chicken farming. You know what I'm saying? Well, people that have more knowledge in that field. And then eventually when I get into goat farming, I'm going to bring people who can take care of the goats and so forth. The expansion, it's going to do nothing but to provide more employment to the people from that community. Guys, isn't this amazing to do? Even when we talk about all of this other phenomenon that a lot of young people are confronted to in Kinshasa, speaking of Kuluna, whatever. So we can have this discussion, talk about how marginalized these people are, poverty or whatever. It exists everywhere. Here in America, there are criminals, there are people that rob banks, there are people that run around with, committing crimes. I can talk to you about that because this is what I do for a living, right? As a law enforcement officer. And it's no reason, but not everybody from the hood, everybody growing up in the projects, it doesn't have a criminal mindset. Some of them refrain from friends that are bad influence because it's about personal choices. You make your choices, and when something happens, you also have to be willing to be held accountable. Accountability, actually makes you a man, right? So these are the type of conversation that we all need to have. By establishing this business with the piece of land that I have and hiring people from that community, not only it eliminates unemployment rates, but it also reduces chances of people actually thinking about committing illegal activity, risking to get caught and spending time in jail, right? That's very important. So if more of us can just come together and start doing things like this more often, I promise you our communities where we come from will be much better, and people would appreciate the actions that you are bringing within those communities as diasporans. Guys, make no mistake, we come from a place that has we come from places that have a lot of potentials, but we just are too blind to see it. I always encourage my people to appreciate everything we have. Don't think getting a job or moving to America, or to the West, getting a job is going to automatically make you rich and capable to supporting your family or to do whatever you think you will be able to do as soon as you get here. No, that's not how that works. It's a whole process, and it requires a lot of patience. I've been investing in my land for the past plus like 3 or plus years, maybe 4 now. And I have not yet started making profits. However, I have faith and I know the market, how, very profitable and lucrative animal raising can be if done right. That's why I hired a vet who's always there taking care of the animals, making sure that when they're due for vaccinations, he's there and hook them up. When one animal gets sick, they're there taking care of them. Those things are very, very important to consider. But when we are just living comfortably here and not actually thinking about what we can do, then we just adding problems to the issue that already exists. It is time to start bringing solution. And wherever you're watching, look at yourself, right? And also interrogate yourself. What have I done to make things better? Or what are you planning to do to change the way things are for the better? Let me know in the comment section down below. I am never going to stop, no matter how annoying this can be to some of y'all, but I'm going to continue to speak on these issues and talk about encouraging more Africans to go back to the motherland to invest. Because we all know that we don't have that sort of money to make any kind of investments here in America, rather than buying property in singular, because not everybody has that kind of money to buy multiple properties here in America, right? Depending on how much money you make. Talking about Africans, of course, right? Because we know how expensive things can be here. A home that costs $400,000 is, with the inflation and the high interest rates that we are dealing with here in America, you could easily live in the same property in a much better neighborhood in Africa, paying probably a fraction of the price. So why are we still here wasting our times and resources when we can import those back where it is more appreciated and needed? If you have an answer to that, let me know in the comment section down below. So now you just guys understand the value and advantages of investing in land. Don't just sit there and listen and not do anything about it. Go ahead and do something about it, because you can't afford it like that here. You know that. But why is it taking you so long? Why is it taking you so long? Why can't you just make that decision and go ahead and do it? I understand we all have problems. We have debt. We got credit card bills to pay. We have multiple other things. I do too. How is it possible that I was able to do what I'm doing now while I'm still living here and I still also have bills to pay? We all on the same boat. There's no excuse, man. There's no excuses. There's no excuse at all. I know all of you watching are able to do it. It's just a matter of a decision. Make that decision, Go ahead and get it done, period. Point blank. No more excuses. All right, guys. Almost I'm almost there. I'm almost at work. I'm working 12-hour shift today. I'm starting at 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Happy Saturday. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully, before the end of the day tomorrow, I will release one video at least and start working on the other ones because the stockpiles of them, like I mentioned yesterday during my live stream. So bear with me, keep those alerts turned on, and stay subscribed for those sort of videos. And I really appreciate every single one of you hanging out here with me on a Saturday. I know your time is very precious. Enjoy your weekend. Don't have too much fun and get into trouble, because I want you to come back here when I go live again so we can interact directly. That's how much I care about you guys. Be safe. Until the next one, I'll see you soon. Peace out.